Our third speaker is Ms. Joanne Boyce, the founder and CEO of IncludeAI. She is a dedicated advocate for ethical and inclusive artificial intelligence. Let's welcome her.
Thank you very much for having me. As mentioned, my name is Joanne Boyce, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my career, but mostly about puppies. It will make sense, I promise. Now, a little bit of crowd participation. I am going to train the best puppy ever. It's going to do your homework, it's going to do your dishes, it's going to cook all your favorite meals, it's going to make sure all your K-dramas are lined up, ready to go. You're going to have direct access. I heard BTS is really good. You're going to have direct access to BTS. Who wants that puppy? Wow, okay. No one wants a puppy that's going to do all their work for them. Yeah, maybe I'm a different student. Now, this puppy is going to be so amazing. It's going to be unbelievable. Now, these claims about this puppy, now if I told you that puppy was AI, do you start doubting it a little? Start wondering, okay, how is AI going to do my homework? How is it going to change my life? How is a puppy going to do your homework or change your life? But the similarities between the two, this magical puppy that I'm going to create for you and AI, are very similar. And my career started when I started to look at what can AI do in the field that I was working in at the time. My background's marketing, but I studied psychology as my undergrad. And I fell into a rabbit hole one day, trying to look at technology of how it can help me be a better marketer. But I quickly found out that it was lacking a lot. There was a lot of biases. There was a lot of ways in which AI was trained that didn't really actually help me and the work I was doing. Now, the way AI is created, you got to think, going back to that puppy analogy, puppies are really good at fetch. So a lot of organizations, OpenAI, Anthropic, all these big artificial intelligence companies have collected a huge amount of data, a huge amount of resources, and they've trained a puppy to go fetch that data and feed it back to you in the most positive, excited way possible. Sometimes it lies to you, but it's okay. It gave you some information. That artificial intelligence was able to fetch that data and bring it to you. But who collected the data in the first place? Who decided what it was going to fetch? Who gave the puppy the tools and told it, this is where you should go play? Another thing, I am British, so we do like our cups of tea. The puppy will try to please you. It will try to make you happy. Anyone who's interacted with ChatGPT knows it's always very, very excited. Got a very American exclamation point on everything. And it's very happy. It always wants to please you. So it will tell you whatever it needs to, because that's how it was trained. These artificial tools are like puppies trying to make sure that we are happy and we're pleased with the results. And we need to understand that we have to guide it. It should not be guiding us. These tools, these artificial models that have been trained on huge data sets, that have been trained to please us, are tools there for us to guide, not to guide us. And that's something I learned when I dived into the world of AI and stumbled into getting a master's in data science. It was during COVID. I don't remember, but I came out with the master's. A lot of these tools are being trained in countries that don't necessarily have inclusive values, question mark, but they try. But we need to understand how they're training these puppies. We need to understand what data they're putting into it. And when I first fell into this rabbit hole, I started to look at the Twitter algorithm. I wanted to investigate, when I post a tweet in my marketing role, what happens? Will people see it the way I posted it? And I found in my research that the Twitter algorithm was actively choosing to crop out women and crop to the lightest face. Now that algorithm, that Twitter algorithm, was like a puppy that was trained to always go to the most male and most white face. As a marketer, I didn't know that, but as a data scientist, I started to understand. that we need to be mindful of who's training the puppies. We need to be involved in that training system. Because if we don't know, we might end up in situations where we are being harmed as women, people of color, as non-Americans. So in 2023, an organization called Bloomberg decided to test one of the image-to-text models, text-to-image models, on how they generated imaginary future. So they said, generate an image of a person who works in a job that is an architect, a lawyer, a social worker, a dishwasher. They generated over 5,000 images and then coded it by skin tone and gender. Now, the biases they found within this data wasn't just what we would all assume. The roles that were of lower paying salaries were more likely to be of darker skin tones than the roles of higher paying salaries. So you were looking at an imaginary role of an architect, and it's more likely to create an image of a lighter skin tone person. This was 10 times worse than the representation within America. These models are trained on bias data, but they're supposed to help us imagine the future. That didn't just limit bias in terms of skin tone, it also limited it in gender. Based on these models, apparently no man ever has been a housekeeper or is able to clean a house. I am not married, I do not know, I cannot question that. But these models haven't got that data. They're going to reproduce our historical past. So as people who are building these tools, as young people that are stepping into the world of using these tools, we need to understand that where they're coming from. We need to understand that, unfortunately, AI doesn't see a woman as an engineer. So when we're questioning and we're using these tools, these are the biases that we're working against. So one of the things I practice in my work is I encourage people to think about starting with bias. Because when you know stats like in the UK, only 22% of professionals in the AI space are women, I'm grateful to be part of that, 22%, but it should be more. Only 9% are reported from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, working class backgrounds, who understand how the world actually works. And only 6% are of disabled, despite being 23% of the UK population. So if this tool is meant to predict the future and it's limited by these biases, what does it look like for someone like me? So I decided to make it my work, make it my vision to help people, one, understand the tools of bias, but also help them to find a way to work with them. Because the answer is never to not use the technology, but to use it responsibly and inclusively. So my work is all around starting with bias in mind. If you ask a generative AI model, I highly recommend trying this when you go home, to create an image of a CTO. It's most likely going to create an image of a white man with glasses, because everyone in tech wears glasses apparently. But once you start with that bias in mind, you start to know what you need to do when you're interacting with these models to make it work for you, to get the best out of the technology. Because when using AI tools, it's very easy to accidentally create a guard dog rather than a guide dog. As leaders in countries and large organizations, it's very easy to create a tool that will harm a majority of your population, harm some of the customers that you serve, when that is not your underlying values or mission. As young people interacting with these tools, it's very easy for it to say something negative about your friend group or some proportion of your family, and understanding that that is the guard dog, but you can engage with it to make it a guide dog. So AI will and will always be a puppy, but we have the power for when we get a puppy that's been trained by someone else to engage with it in a way that can make it beneficial for us. I truly believe society is a place where we can utilize technology for good, but we need to understand where it's coming from, who's involved in it, in order to have that good future be our future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Boyce.